Yeah.
What you working on?
Oh, I'm just making a new radical thumbnail for the WIZARDOLOGY episode. The one about the Cult of Capitalism?
No way, dude. This is terrible, man. This AI... I like the other one we did with, where I'm caught in the mousetrap. Remember?
Yeah, well, I like that one too. But, if we're gonna get as many views and likes and subscribers as we can, we need to change the thumbnail. We gotta be trendy, man!
Sounds to me like you're paying attention to the negative thoughts that have creeped into your mind.
What?
Remember, we don't do Wizardology for the money, fame, power. We do it to create art for our friends and family, and to encourage other people to live their best lives possible.
I don't think I understand.
Let me try and put it another way.
We're living in a world of ones and zeros. Obey, consume, and watch TV. Go to school, get a job, and do not question. Direct deposit credit card. Make a baby with your legal wife. Get on your knees and pray to God. God, please. Jesus. Oh my God, please. There's gotta be a better way to live. Wizardology is who we are. Every second Sunday of the month starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're living the best life that we can, with a balanced body, heart, and mind.
Wizardology!
Hello? Hello? Is this working? Is anybody watching? Oh, hello? Hello? It's me, Hubert. Wade the Wizard is, incapacitated at the moment from exertion. But, I'm Hubert. Oh, I said that already. Now, welcome, wizards, to Wizardology! Woo! Now let's see. I hope I can get this technology to work. I think I need to do this and introduce the show. This is the 1 year celebration of Wizardology. Wizardology is 1 year old now. Not as old as me. I'm 200. I can't remember, but I'm older than 250 years old, depending on how you look at time travel and whatnot. But let's start the show.
Interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Here we go!
Quite often, it is hard to imagine anything more amazing than what already exists.
I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Oh wow. Oh my God.
What could that be?
Turning back into dirt
And here we are. Power, joy, love, laughter.
I feel it already.
And welcome, wizards. Whoa, hold on. Whew. Yeah, we are starting the show. Let me fix my hat. Here we are. I was just so winded after that opening sequence, but without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, wizards, I'm turning the hypometer up to maximum hype. Level 11. Woo! We're gonna leave it there. The rest of the show, I have my favorite artist. I can't believe it's only been a year of Wizardology. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I'm just so excited. I feel like I'm spinning. I need to just calm down and chill out a little bit. But I am hyped. I'm excited. After just 1 year of being on Wizardology, I have my favorite artist is gonna be on the show. Without further ado, give a big wizard welcome to. Let me switch this there. There he is.
Hi, Wade.
Robbie Ward.
Happy birthday to Wizardology.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank
exciting.
you.
I don't think I realized it was the 1 year.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was supposed to be August, but I was off battling dragons and doing some other sort of things, so got busy. But oh gosh, let's see, where do we begin? We gotta summon Phoebe. Phoebe, oh Phoebe, the magical potion pheasant, bring us a drink and make it oh so pleasant. I'll pour yours first. Let's see, bring it down here, this way.
Yep.
Fill yours up. I got
you.
my mug right here. Cheers. Now let's see, how can we cheers across the screen? Here we go. Oh, I think you got to go the other way. There we go. We got it. Well, the cheers is there. Oh, that's a good potion. I have a. Oh my goodness! It's an oaky smoked lemonade with a non-alcoholic bourbon whiskey. Delicious.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could make it up. I'm just.
Thanks for having me over.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled. So now we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about your big project, your art. Oh, I see you got a shirt. Can you?
This is an old one. This is from my band where all the animation started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Got a lot of extra ones.
So the band. Now your two short films. I can't remember the name of them, but
there's two previous ones that kind of got this whole thing started. Those were music videos for this band, Deadza, when I was living in Nashville. And that was just, at the time, my primary focus was music, and I'd always drawn and, was known in school as the kid who was good at drawing and thought of myself a bit as an artist, but really from about 14 or 15 until like 28, music dominated my life, and it was the band that kind of it got me interested in trying to find some way to set us apart. And my drummer had convinced me that it would be a good idea to try to animate a full music video, which I thought was going to be way too much work. And it was a lot of work, but I was just kind of playing around, and it was received so well and kind of became the primary way that anybody knew about us, and people would come to our shows from pretty far away because they had seen the videos on YouTube. And so it really I was just playing around, but it really sparked something and got me interested in pursuing that. So I did one more music video shortly before the band broke up, about a year before we broke up. And and since then, the last 7 years, I've been making this short film. So this is the first project that I've done, aside from commissions. This is the first one for myself that is outside of the band. It's still, it's not a music video, but it's only music and animation. There's no sound effects or anything like that. That was something I got really interested in through doing the music videos, is doing something that was just purely music and animation. And growing up with Disney's Fantasia as a kid, that kind of remained like the Bible for the project. It's, stylistically really different, but that was that's been the idea behind it all along. How can you make something without any dialogue, no sound effects, anything like that, and just try to keep it as pure and expressive as possible?
So what do you play in the band?
I played keyboards. I have my setup here,
nice.
and
Check this out.
I played the whole score on this as well.
I got a keyboard too.
Oh, cool. What is that?
It's like an old retro Casio.
I've got a little Yamaha about that
MT100
size that I used on the score a little bit as well. I love the sounds you get from those old things. They're great.
Found it at a thrift store, but okay, so keyboards. Oh, I just want to say to the people who are watching, I'm excited for you, because if you haven't heard of Robbie Ward, then you're in luck, because this guy, incredible, talented artist, and you get to discover his art for the first time. And we're gonna, stay tuned. We're gonna check out one of his trailers for his new short film. But yeah, well, real quick side question: do you have a wizard name? In real life, I'm Wade Robbins, but I go by Wade the Wizard.
I'm afraid I don't.
All right, maybe by the end of the show we'll come up with something. We'll think of something that sounds good. But yeah, name. I wanted to ask, before we kind of jump into the topic of the show, I have a question, but I wanted to ask about your influences.
Sure.
You kind of mentioned Fantasia, but are there some other people or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think somebody was asking me this recently, and I was trying to think, like, obviously I've got a lifetime of things that I've been interested in, and I could ramble forever because it all kind of goes into the pot. But I was trying to think if I could take maybe 5 different general things that could come together, and so I think I settled on medieval religious artwork, old cartoons, Japanese monster movies, album artwork from the 70s, and I can't remember what else I hit on, but that's and like classic picture books, old illustrated books from the early 1900s, things like that. So there's a lot of different stuff that goes in, but I think those are all pretty primary influences. I think you can see a little bit of all of that in the trailer, and I'm always really interested to hear when I get messages from people. Everyone seems to have a different core childhood memory that it seems to trigger, and that's always really interesting for me to hear. A lot of times I do hear that it's like some old cartoon that they saw, or record covers from stuff that their dad used to listen to, or just some old TV show that they saw when they were half asleep once. So that's always fun for me, because I think I am very interested in hopefully evoking that kind of feeling. Like hopefully it'll feel like something that you saw years and years ago and you forgot about, and you're singing again, but it's actually brand new. That's probably my short answer, but if you want to get into it later, we can talk specific influences. I have a lot of books I could pull out behind me that have been specific influence on the project.
Well, maybe now would be a good time to show the trailer.
Yeah, sure.
Let me jump into that. So I'm not sure how the format's going to work here, but share screen. I got it pulled up here. Let me just make sure, see what our format's like. Oh, this is great. Okay, so I wanted to say before we start, I was really excited when it first came out with a trailer, and I was on my phone at the time, and I was gonna play it, but then I was like, I can't watch it on a tiny screen. I gotta really enjoy this. I gotta be in the moment, and then I kind of accidentally forgot about it, and so this will be my first time watching it.
Oh wow!
This will be a actual reaction. So, with that, Here we go. Animal Math by Robbie Ward. Uh-oh.
I can hear it.
I'm having some technical difficulties. Maybe I'll just try and refresh it. See if that works. Okay. Wow. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if it's a. All right.
I couldn't see anything. I could hear it, but I couldn't see anything. But you could see it.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Hopefully.
And someone
We'll
can
find
let
out.
us know in the chat.
Yeah.
If not, they can look it up easily later.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put a link to the trailer, but I did put a link to Robbie's channel. Go check it out. And well, so that's being the trailer. When can we expect to, like, how's it going to be released to a point that we can see?
No idea. It's premiering next week. I'm getting ready to fly to Austin on Friday. I'll be there for a week for Fantastic Fest, which unfortunately they've been sold out for a while, so I don't think anybody can get into that now. But then after that, it will be at the El Paso Film Festival. And then after that, I'm flying to Los Angeles to watch it at the Los Feliz 3 out there for Beyond Fest. It'll be playing before the new 4K remaster of Mamoru Oshii's Angel's Egg. He's the guy who did The Ghost in the Shell. So it's like the West Coast premiere of this new remaster. I've seen Ghost in the Shell, but I haven't seen Angel's Egg. So I was really excited to see that it's just going to be my short film and that playing in that block. So that's going to be a fun way to see that. And then after that, it's playing at Film Quest in Provo, Utah, and then it will be in Colorado.
I've got some family who lives in Provo.
Oh, really?
Or around that area in Utah, yeah.
I'm not sure if I can go to that one yet because I think it might be conflicting with the local festival that I can't announce just yet. But and after that, I think I'm going to Seattle for another one, and then I'm waiting to hear back from a bunch of other festivals that I've submitted to. But for now, that's the only way you can see it. Because if it was publicly available, I'd be disqualified from most of the festivals. So people got to wait, unfortunately. But if you live in one of these areas, there's still a ton of festivals that I've submitted to that I'm waiting to hear back from. So I don't know, maybe someone can make it out. It's been pretty cool, actually. A lot of people who have been following me for a while have been reaching out, and I'm going to be able to meet a lot of them over the next couple months. So that's going to be interesting.
Man, I feel lucky that I was able to connect with you. I don't know. That was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so go ahead and give him a follow on YouTube, Instagram, because I know I'm going to be following that, making sure I know as soon as it's going to become available, and I'll be first in line.
Instagram is the best way for updates and stuff. I have like 3 or 4 videos on YouTube. I post finished stuff up there just kind of as like a little portfolio, but I don't I don't talk or give updates or anything like that. So Instagram's really the best way to keep up. And then I always tell people who are always asking, like, when am I going to know when it's available? Just if you're that curious to see it, you can just subscribe on my website, and about once a month or something, I send out a list of all the screenings and if there's exclusive print drops, things like that. So that's a good way to keep up.
Or cool T-shirts.
Hopefully, I'm working on design for the
yeah,
film. This is a creature that appears in the film.
yeah, dude.
So I only draw by hand, so I got to reach out to my followers and see if I can find somebody who can take my drawing and turn it into a vector image so I can have it. That's what I had done with these when I was in Dead Zone.
Okay.
I just paid the guy who worked at the t-shirt place to turn it into a digital image for me, but I don't know how to do that.
You gotta sometimes rely on other people. Get some
That's
help.
True. That's true.
Well, I kind of want to jump into talking about the cult of capitalism. I kind of teased that as a bit of the topic of the show. Something I've realized. So a cult is anything that beyond religion, it's an organization that tries to manipulate your behaviors, thoughts, emotions with information, the bite model. So, and Wizardology is kind of what we try and do here. For those of you who don't know or tuning in for the first time, we try and help you give you the tools to free your behaviors, thoughts, and emotions to almost like an anti-cult, and help you recognize these influences that are trying to persuade you to do other things. And so, yeah, capitalism, I wanted to talk about how many of us were born in a culture of capitalism. As children, we were taught to achieve without bounds before we even started forming memories. We were trained to expect a reward as a payment for completing a task. Starting in kindergarten, we were rewarded with a grade for completing an assignment. Our education rewards us with a certificate of completion, a degree. And then we enter the workforce and we're rewarded with a paycheck for completing our work. And, so our brains are programmed for doing a task, receiving a reward. And often our measure of success is directly correlated to wealth, power, fame. How much money do you have? What rank of authority do you hold over others? How many followers do you have? This is the cult of capitalism. So I want you, Robbie, to imagine that you are on your deathbed looking back on life. Will you wish that you had acquired more wealth, power, or fame? Personally, my ultimate goal is to love and be loved and to be happy.
Sure.
And I want to have a positive impact on the world, and a large part of that is sharing my ideas here on Wizardology. So, I want you to imagine you're on your deathbed, as macabre as that may be, but it's something that I often reflect on in a way that thinking about what is my purpose in life, what do I want to accomplish, and so what do you feel like you want to do in this life?
Well, I've kind of had the chance to practice that a little bit, because over the last few years I had some pretty intense health issues, and there's at least a couple times where it was intense enough to easily imagine that happening, and when this first kind of reached that degree, I was living in Los Angeles, and this was after my band had broken up. I moved from Nashville to LA. I'm from Colorado, and that's where I am now. And at the time I thought, I had just started working on the short film, and I thought, I'm going to knock this out in like a year or two. I'm going to go work for a studio doing whatever. I think I was more interested at the time in like trying to secure something. If I could be a concept artist at DreamWorks or something, it would sound really good. And when you're younger, I think it's easy to be more influenced in terms of your goals by how you think you're going to impress other people. And so when I got really ill, I've got Crohn's disease, and it got to the point where I couldn't do anything. I had to go on disability. I couldn't really leave the house. I was really anemic, and it just became really crystal clear. I have a baby now, but at the time it was in the apartment with my cats, and just that I was like, I don't want to commute to some studio. I want to be here with my cats and find out a way to work for myself and have independence. Even if I'm poorer, I wanted to be able to do something that felt honest to me and try to have a more simple existence. So I ended up in the hospital a couple times out there, and my wife and I decided to move back to Colorado, where we're both from, to be near family. And we built a little house with my dad, and that was during COVID. And so it all...
Wait, that's where you're living now? Is the house that you
This
built?
is my studio, but it's attached. It's attached to the house. It's kind of a separate thing. This whole thing is actually on wheels. This is where I draw and paint. Right now, my laptop's sitting on my animation table, so that's my rig that holds my camera. So this is 8 by 20 feet, and if we wanted, we could move it with jacks away from the rest of the house and pop some wheels on the axles and get it out of here. So
nice.
I think the instability of being so sick just kind of made us want to do something sustainable and simple that would allow us to work and live the kind of life we wanted to, but still be able to, if we got property somewhere else sometime, we can move this, take it wherever we want for the most part. But it's hard as an artist. Obviously, you want to be able to earn money. You want to ideally be able to spend the majority of your time. You don't want to be, I did it for a very long time, working a job that I hated and then coming home and staying up all night. That's how I created the early music videos. I just didn't sleep. I was in my 20s, so I could do that.
What job were you working?
I worked at a dog daycare in Nashville for like 7 years. So I was, picking up poop all day, mopping floors and stuff. And I think part of me wanted to, there was other jobs available, but it was right by my house. I worked with my best friend and bandmate. And I think in a way it was like symbolic to me. It's like, I'm literally working in shit. And so it kind of gave me a really firm, like symbolic thing to push myself and try to move my life forward. And because my other bandmates, they kind of had cushy managerial jobs and didn't really, I was out in the cold and the heat and getting wet and it was smelly and I came home filthy, and they could sit in the office all day and be on their phones. And so they didn't have quite as intense of a drive as I developed from having that job. I was really driven to push myself and try to create something interesting that hopefully other people would connect with and try to open up some doors for myself. And, it's taken almost a decade, but it's finally been happening lately. And it's tricky, money and fame and all this stuff. That's not really the goal. But of course, as an artist, you want to share your work widely, because when people connect with what you do, that's kind of the whole point. So if you can cast a wider net and get more people engaged with what you do, not out of self-aggrandizement or, lust for power or anything, but just for the fulfillment of being able to connect with people as widely as possible, to the point where, to a point, obviously at a certain point, you have to start diluting what you do. And if you're going to try to, if you're going to try to engage with a wider and wider and wider audience, chances are at some point there, the honesty in your work is going to start diminishing. And so that's something I think everybody needs to watch out for. But you know, if I can
so,
pay
like,
pay bills and make sure my kid is fed, that's kind of my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to live a peaceful life and wake up and draw all day, and hopefully get to the point where my wife can quit her job and just kind of do all the administrative stuff that lately with the festivals coming up, that I feel like I've been a glorified secretary for the last 2 weeks. I haven't done any drawing or any. I've just been answering emails and stuff. So the goal is to make it so that it's feasible for her to do all that and leave me to do the other stuff. So that's really, yeah, that's my deathbed wish looking back, is just to have some autonomy and be able to do, you know, put what's in my head out in the world, because as long as people are enjoying it and it means something to them, then I'll keep doing it. Otherwise, you know, I'd just as soon mop floors if it paid the bills.
Yeah, it makes me think. So, like, one of my biggest influences, one of my favorite influencers was Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers.
Yeah.
And like he achieved that fame, he had that outreach, but he was super humble. He didn't care for the fame or wealth. He just wanted to make a positive impact on the world, which he did, and that's kind of what I want to do here with the Wizard Show, with Wizardology. Like I've tried to distance myself from caring so much about views and subscribers and just focus on creating good content.
Yeah.
But it's also like, come on, man, I wish I could.
It's a fine line, you know.
Oh yeah, I see your cat
Molly.
there. What's that cat's name?
That's Molly. There's a little cat flap under my desk that goes out to a cat, like a catio. So they will, if you hear flapping, they're running in and out. Hopefully she doesn't come in with a bird like she has been.
My grandma had a big. She had a whole. They converted a shed into a cat house, and she at any time. Oh. You know what that sound means?
What does that mean?
That means it's time for the intermission dance party. Now, this is something new I want to try. So, what I'm going to do, I have the link. Maybe I'll add it in the comments as well. But there's a link in the description. So you're going to have to. I don't know if I got that copied. Instead of playing it through StreamYard, because that reduces the sound quality, also I want to give the artist full credit. So I'm going to add this comment into... in the comments, I'm just checking that now, someone could see the trailer, so that's good. But so what we're going to do, well, on the count of 3, hit play on this YouTube video, and it's just, I'm going to put in both my earbuds for maximum music awesomeness. And, you know, you don't have to dance if you don't want to, but I'm going to get up, do a little jig, and then we'll continue our conversation. So I'm going to scoot this over here, like so. That's good enough. All right. Getting ready on the video song. All right. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. With technical difficulties. Right. And we're back. I hope I wasn't the only one, but that's okay if I was. Did you know? Here's a fun fact. Dancing has been scientifically proven to be better than antidepressants. So, if you're feeling down, don't pop the pills. Just get up and dance. Well, for those of you in the comments who are wondering about the music that you can't hear, that was the whole point. You have to go click on the link because I don't want the sound quality to be garbage. Anyway, so yeah, for a lot of you, probably Robbie as well, you just saw me dancing for a couple minutes.
I didn't click on the link because I was afraid I was going to mess something up for myself.
Oh, that's good. That's fair. I mean, yeah, for people who are watching live, I don't know. It's something. Maybe it won't work. Maybe next show I'll try and change it up a little bit. But it's fun to try. So well, let's see what else I had on my notes. We talked about finding balance between living in a life of capitalism and finding that joy in life. Well, maybe this will be what we can do next. You've got some paper and a pen there with you?
I do.
Oh, I've got mine right here. So, in the Wizardtron 3000, I have a few writing prompts. Things like, we got a wacky wizard, menacing monster, creepy creature, and other various writing prompts. So I'm going to reach in here. Oh, all right, there's the right flap. Okay, we can focus here. Using the power, using some magic to find the right prompt. Oh wait, no, I did just get one. Ooh, good one for Halloween coming up. A creepy creature.
All
right, so I've got my paper here. And I don't know, I wasn't going to like set a time limit or anything. I just wanted to... I used to draw in school all the time. And there was just some great pleasure in it.
Do you still do it pretty often?
Well, kind of, and yes and no. I do... I've started what I call the doodle diary. So about once or twice a month, I'll write in my journal. I first draw a picture and then I type with a typewriter text around it.
Oh, cool. That's a good practice.
Yeah. I was thinking I would maybe publish it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just something for myself. And for those of you who are watching at home, you can grab some paper and start drawing as well. There's nothing to it.
Pretty bad at drawing quickly. It takes me forever to do stuff, and one's erasing.
Whoops. Yeah, well, I'm going full commitment. I'm going full pen. Cause yeah, just we gotta keep it entertaining as well. Don't want people clicking away. Oh, this is looking good. I'm pretty. All right.
I'm getting there.
I kind of find myself like just drawing with no real rhyme or reason, or I'm kind of like discovering it as I draw it myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, done.
Oh, shoot. It means you win, right?
Yes.
Let me just add a few more. Oh, you know what? I just need some of these right here. All right. We'll do on the count of 3, right? 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice! How do I straighten it up? Oh, very nice.
Like the boobs. And tentacles.
Yeah. that was the last final touch.
Yeah, it usually takes me forever to get things looking. I'm amazed by people who can just, their sketches come out beautifully. Like I don't really know how to draw, I feel like, so it's a lot of trial and error for me.
Yeah. I find like I have different styles where part of me will do like kind of a slow, more methodical, and I try and go for realism, but then I also sometimes I'll just make some weird stuff.
I'd do anything to be able to draw like I did when I was like 6 or 7.
Something about being a kid, having that imagination, being able to unlock that as an adult, that's
it's hard.
That's a magic. Yeah. That's where real magic resides.
Yeah. Yeah, self-consciousness is really hard to overcome.
Well, I actually, maybe what we can try, because I covered all the questions that I had for you, and you know, I feel like you had some really good insights talking about the cult of capitalism, but we have 4 people watching. If anybody wants to ask Robbie or me a question, maybe we'll stick around for a little bit longer. Maybe I can think of something else. So, one thing I wanted to mention while people come up with questions. So I don't know if were you able to hear and watch the intro to this show?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if maybe like art. So I actually released that music video back in August, and I was like real upset because I didn't get a lot of views. But then I kind of had this change in mindset where I realized that I'm not as concerned about the views and subscriptions. I care about creating good art and getting good reactions from my friends. But there was I hope no one took offense at some of the lines where it's like, make a baby with your legal wife, because it means to be like a poke at just the cult of capitalism. Kind of tells you what to do, and to have a baby, I think that's great if that's what you want to do.
There's a lot of people who do it just because it's supposed to be the next step, and they're
miserable. Yeah, exactly.
I know a few.
It's got to be the right time, and that's when you can make a beautiful. So me and my spouse currently, we do not plan on having children, and that's a beautiful thing too.
We've been together for 16 years, and we have an 8-month-old baby now. It took us that long to come around to realize that we felt we should. You know, I think we were really cynical about it for a long time, and then came to the conclusion that like maybe thoughtful people should raise some kids. It shouldn't only be people who don't know how to use contraceptives.
It's like reminds me of Idiocracy, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Just all the dumb people making, I don't know.
Scary times
I guess
as a kid, but it's
yeah.
you know, we like somebody's got to be doing their best to raise good people, though. I think that's important as well. It just, again, it took me 16 years to kind of come around to it and realize that it was something that I felt I would actually be good at.
Man, yeah, one thing I've been thinking about lately quite a bit, just because like this world, sometimes it's crazy. It's scary what's going on in the news, and it's hard to block that out. But I feel like there's the good and the bad, but the way to combat evil, combat the negative and the hate, you can't fight hate with hate. And that's what I see so many of these, as good as intentioned as they are, they go on and say, oh, this person on this political spectrum, they're such an idiot, they're such a loser. That's not the way to convince people. In fact, it does just the opposite. When you say, hey, you're a loser, when you're an idiot, they jump back and they say, whoa, they double down.
Yeah, of course.
And you gotta fight hate with love. That's what I'm trying to do.
It's hard. I mean, it can be really hard, but I try my best to understand people's beliefs that I heartily disagree with. You know, I think if you can't at least attempt to put yourself in their shoes and understand, look, I hate what they're saying, I don't agree with it at all, but if you can at least get a glimpse of like where they're coming from, no matter how much you disagree, I think that really goes a long way. Like my brother is kind of believes politically is, you know, almost completely opposite from where I stand, and it can be really difficult sometimes, but I at least try to hear him out and understand his problems, because he has a completely different set of problems and goals than I do. And you know, it can seem impossible to do that sometimes, and I fail at it all the time, but a lot of times when you meet people that if you were commenting on something online and getting in an argument with them, and it would turn really heated, but you might meet that same person at the grocery store or something, and in my experience where I live, it's you know, it's pretty conservative out here, and so I'm surrounded by people that I disagree with all the time, and but I find that a lot of times when you meet them in person, they're usually pretty pleasant. It's this like anonymity of being on the internet and having the freedom to comment whatever you want, and that leads to a lot of issues. So it'd be really easy to just get mad and try to fight with all these people, and sometimes it feels like if you're not doing that, you're doing your own values a disservice. But you're right. Ultimately, if you're just constantly picking fights, the other side is only going to see you as an enemy, and like you said, they're just going to double down and push harder against you. And ultimately, you know, we're a huge country with a lot of different beliefs, and it's important to, if we don't find some kind of compromise or common ground, nothing positive is ever going to happen. We can't all have things exactly how we want, you know?
Yeah. I just try and, if I live the best life that I can, if I live by example, if I show them just how good it can be, and they'll be like, man, this Wade guy, he's always happy, he's always positive. What's his secret? And I'll be like, well, let me tell you. It's certainly not holding the beliefs that you have.
I practiced transcendental meditation for 8 years, about 7 years now, I think. Twice a day, every day. The only day I missed it actually was I missed one session the day my son was born, And that's the only time. It was also the day David Lynch died, which is ironic because I decided to be so strict about it because of him. Because I knew, like, if I started slipping and wasn't doing it twice a day, then it would be really easy to. So now I have a streak, and I'm like afraid to break the streak, so that keeps me on it. So that's the only time I miss. Sorry, David. But the whole idea behind that and what Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was trying to do by taking this practice from India and spreading it around the world is the whole idea is like you can't really change other people, but everybody can change themselves, and then obviously the world will become a better place. And it's on a small scale, but just within the people I know. I used to be a very tense and angry person. I was very prone to blowing up and having all kinds of outbursts, and was tore people down. And I still am not entirely sure where that came from. I think a lot of it was having a really strong drive and not seeing the people around me that I was collaborating with. In my mind, they weren't pulling their weight, and I felt like I was being trapped, and all kinds of negative stuff. It was really probably all some kind of self-hatred that was just being projected onto other people. But it's crazy. Like the day I started meditating, it just dissipated. It's really wild. We just don't give ourselves that kind of break. But 20 minutes twice a day, sitting down and just having silence and not doing anything. I think if people shut their eyes for a minute a day and didn't even have a mantra or anything, I think if you just sat there and focused on your breathing for a minute or 5 minutes, that would go a long ways. Because most of the time people, they're constantly trying to find stimulation. You're looking at your phone, you're eating something, whatever, you're just trying. So meditation is so amazing because when you take away all stimulus, and a lot of people are really scared of the silence, or maybe it's not silence, but the hamster wheel of thoughts in their head. That's a really frightening idea to some people. My wife was really afraid to learn. She took the course with me, and she thought, there's no way I'm not going to be able to meditate. I can't do it. And she took to it more easily than I did, and she fell right into it, and she's stuck with it this whole time with me. And it's made things a lot easier. This isn't an ad for transcendental meditation, but I would say with everything we've been talking about, whether it's like what you're looking for in life, it was when I started doing this that everything, I stopped wanting to have some kind of high profile life in LA and wanting to like live in the country in a small place that we built. And it really started shifting my values and made me a much more patient and kind person pretty much right off the bat. It was really, it like freaked my friends out because they're like, what's wrong with him? He's like so calm all of a sudden. So yeah, I think people put their phones away and sat down for like a minute or two, they'd be really surprised what might come out of that. Because looking on your phone for relief, you're just going to spike your cortisol instantly.
Yeah, it's really like social media is like the potato chips. You just, I'll just have one more, and then 2 hours later you realize you've eaten the whole bag and you feel like crap.
I rely on it like nobody would know about my work if it wasn't for that. So unfortunately I have to devote a lot of time each week to like managing social media and responding to people. It's how a lot of people reach out and communicate with me, so it's kind of a necessary evil. But man, if I didn't need it for that, I would be out of there. It's rewiring our entire species. I have no fresh insights on it. We all know what it's doing to us, but that's my takeaway is that sitting it down and giving yourself some real peace and quiet can really help alleviate that.
I've actually, what I've kind of discovered just recently, in fact, I've noticed it happen in my life many times before, but it wasn't until just this Thursday. We went on a hike, 7 miles overall, and me and my spouse, we were just hiking along. We were focusing on stepping over rocks, and and I realized, like, wow, my mind, it's something like the way that my mind works, because when I sit down and I try and just be quiet and meditate, then I have busy thoughts going on, and it's hard to just focus and have these like pure thoughts, and really, but when I'm like going on a hike and I have to focus on something, like it's like my subconscious is focusing on the task, or maybe I'm riding my motorcycle, I'm crocheting, I'm doing something kind of that I can just turn my mind off, and then that's when I have this focus and I have these creative thoughts, and I just feel at peace.
Yeah.
So that's how I meditate. So meditation doesn't always necessarily look like sitting down and being quiet, but for some people maybe it does. You just got to find your way that works best for you.
They all accomplish different things. It's all, anytime you're finding, I like to walk in the woods out here in Colorado a lot. That does me a lot of good. Stephen King called it letting the boys in the basement do the work. You go and walk and you just don't think about anything in particular. You just, like, if you get stuck writing, it's tempting if you're a creative person and you get stuck, you want to go out and you want to like think really hard and try to, what am I going to write next? What? But it's surprising if you just don't think about it at all. If you're stuck creatively, if you have some kind of writer's block or artist block, you just go and walk and do your best to just look at the trees and don't. Your subconscious is sometimes you get to the end of the walk and all of a sudden it's been solved for you. That happens to me all the time with meditating too. Like, I'll have to stop and write something down, because as soon as I stop making an effort to like generate an idea, they'll just start bubbling up, and it's kind of amazing. And you realize how much work your consciousness, your subconscious or unconscious mind, I guess, is doing without even realizing it. It's pretty powerful.
I gotta try some of that transcendental meditation.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Right. Well, honestly, I kind of feel like maybe that's a good place to end on. We've had a lot to talk about, and I sometimes one thing that I've learned in creating art is you got to edit. You don't need to add more just for the sake of adding more, you know? I do, real quick though, I want to add a plug, I guess. I've got a big project I've been working on for many years, and I'm going to launch a Kickstarter on the full moon of October, on October 9th at midnight, so follow my channel, subscribe to get those updates, and also go check out Robbie Ward's Instagram and make sure, if he's coming to a festival near you, that you go and check out. I mean, even just check out his channel. But with that, and I do, if you'll hold on for just a minute, I want to have a little chat with you off screen.
Sure.
But anyway, I don't believe in any gods, but I believe. Oh, I hear my alarm through my headphones. That must be mean time. No, but I don't believe in any gods, but I believe in you, Robbie. And now we're gonna have a closing hymn song. I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can hear the music too.
But I can't hear you because this gosh darn alarm. Oh, my pocket. Hold on a second. Hold on. Whoa. I forgot to turn off my alarms. There we go. So the closing hymn, this is the last thing I'll wrap up with. There's a link in the description. It's going to be kind of like the song before. It's 2HB by Roxy Music. And this is just a song. There's great power in music, and this can help you wind down. I'm going to say goodbye to Robbie, and I just want to I guess I don't know if did you have anything else you wanted to say? I kind of cut you off like that.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. No, I'm good. Um, I think I don't know what would you what's the conclusion you come to after talking about capitalism, and what kind of lives you want to lead? I want to hear your take, your summary.
Well, there's you got to find some balance somehow. Balance between, because we have to live in this world where money is a thing, as much as it'd be great if we lived in a utopia where artists could just do art and not have to worry about paying the bills. But we have to somehow make money.
That's the advice when kids, a lot of times art students and stuff, they'll message me and they ask for advice, and one of the first things I tell them is you're not a failure if you don't make your living making art. That doesn't mean your art's some embarrassing hobby that that's a sign of something that you didn't succeed at. I'm fortunate that what I'm doing has been growing, but I came to the conclusion years ago that if I had to go do anything else really, and art was just something that I kind of did for myself in my own time, as long as I could keep it pure and not and separate from business or trying to do something that was popular, that I would be okay with that. And sometimes taking what you love and trying to make it financially viable can destroy it. And so I think that, I don't know, I think it just occurred to me, but I think that might be an important takeaway, that I think there's this weird thing in America, like if some dad has a guitar or something, like, oh, you want to be a rock star, how sad. It's like, maybe they just enjoy playing guitar, and that's a really beautiful thing, because they're doing that instead of being on Instagram or whatever. But I think a lot of other cultures have a much healthier understanding of that, that you can do one thing to make money and your art can remain untouched. It's tricky for me because that line is getting blurred all the time. So I doing my best to keep it pure and turn down things that I don't think are taking me in the right direction. But if that hadn't been happening for me, it took me a long time to come to that conclusion, but I'd be okay just coming home and doing my drawings for myself and my friends. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because we live in this crazy system where you have to, you got to figure it out.
That does remind me, that's something that maybe a little teaser for next Wizardology. Every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Wizard Show, I want to talk about art. And I want to talk about finding that balance between, or really, when art stops becoming art because of the influences of capitalism and money. And I'm going to maybe dive into that. And if you are watching and you feel like, hey, I might be the next special guest on Wizardology, then send an email. Link in the description. It's thewizardshow@gmail.com. Send me a message and we'll figure something out. But until then, I believe in you, people watching, and try some meditation.
Thanks for having me on, Wade.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.